Hello, thanks for tuning into this video. So this one is actually a request from the user Donatas or Donatas, something like that. Donatas N, I'm probably saying that wrong, but anyway. Watched one of my videos and had commented that he would like to know how to do accents and slides on the TB-03, but while sequencing it from the Deluge. So it's pretty straightforward to do once you know what you're doing. So what I'll do is I'll program a simple sequence into the TB-03, and then I'll basically recreate the same thing in the Deluge. So if I press play on the 03 now, there's nothing happening because there's nothing on. I've got a completely blank pattern. So I was going to put in a dead simple, just like 16th note pattern. So going to pitch mode, I still program in the traditional mode because I used to have an original 303, and that's the way I'm used to doing it and getting nice random stuff. Doing it that way. So I'm just going to go like C, 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 C. Just a whole bar of 16ths. And then we're going to go over to time. I'm just going to put all the notes in, all 16th notes. So, okay, simple kind of pattern. Just check that was working one more time. Yeah, that's fine. So I'll do the same on the Deluge. Now, there's a couple of things just to watch out for. So I'm on my zoom on the Deluge. I don't know if you can see. But I'm on 16th note, so basically this is one bar, and we're on C. So simple MIDI connection, got the MIDI out from the Deluge going to the MIDI in of the TB-03, dead simple. So if I put the same thing in on here, on this grid, you'll hear it will sound slightly different. So there's the TB-03 and the Deluge. Okay, we've got slightly longer notes because it kind of holds the note on for the full 16th note, whereas the TB-03 kind of does it more as a 30-second note. So, in fact, if we just look on the Deluge, if I zoom in to 30-second notes, which hopefully you can see, that's the main note there, the brighter pad. I'll just go on this one because it's a bit nearer the camera. That's the main note, the brighter pad, and that's like the tail of it that's lasting the full 16th note, so we don't want that. So quick way of doing it, let's just get rid of all these, is if we zoom in to 30-second note mode. Now rather than doing like this half and the second half, if we go on to cross screen, if we activate cross screen, whatever we do on this, because this is only now half a bar, we'll do it on the second half as well. So our 16th note positions are now there, so we need to light up basically every other one like that. And if we zoom across, you'll see, because it's in cross-screen mode, it's done it on the second half as well. So if I zoom back out now to 16th notes, it looks exactly the same, but we've not got that little tail after it. So if I play now, okay, then play the 03. All right, it's sounding exactly the same now. So let's deal with accents first. I'm just going to turn the accent dial down on the 03. And just to keep it dead simple, I'm going to put an accent just on the first beat. So for accents, remember, we're going pitch mode, and then we're on number 1. I was going to put we're going to hold that down, and we're going to put an accent on there. Now if I play that, obviously we're not going to hear the accent because I've not turned the accent dial up. If I whack that all the way up to full, you can hear now, okay, that accent coming in on the first beat. Our MIDI notes on the Deluge are all set. The kind of the standard default setting is for them all to go in at a velocity of 64. Remember, our MIDI velocities goes from 1 to 127, which is basically your MIDI volume. So if you hold down, so I'm going to accent on this first key. If I hold that down and then turn this dial, you can see it's flashing. Again, hopefully you can see that, but it's flashing at 64. So to accent that first note the same as the 03, all we're going to do is hold that down, turn this dial all the way up to 127. Now when I play it, we will get the accent. We got to watch out for, let me get rid of that. I was still in cross screen mode, which is why it did it on beat 3 as well. So let's just do that again. I'll take that up to 127. Okay, there's the Deluge. So that's the Deluge sequencing the 03, and there's the internal sequencer of the 03. Okay, so we're sounding exactly the same. So to put a slide in, again, very, very straightforward. And it kind of works in the same way as any kind of mono synth if you've got a glide function or portamento. If I just go over onto the Deluge, onto the keyboard mode, and sort of play the 03, I don't know if you can hear that, but if you've got one note held down, and then go to the next one, it slides up, it glides up, or portamentos up or down, because it's a monosynth, and that's basically the way the internal workings of it work. So it's kind of like when the notes overlap. So that's how we program it when we're sequencing. So if we look at our sequence here, let's slide. We'll do number, where are we? 4, 5, 6. If we slide 6 into 7 on here. So again, we're going to go pitch mode. Don't know. Yeah, hopefully you can see the display on that. But so if we go up to 6, which is there, and then we're going to put a slide on that. So that will slide from 6 into 7. Okay, so you can hear that there. Now to do the same thing on here, so we're going to be sliding from this one to this one. All we've got to do is make this note longer so it overlaps into that note there. Because at the moment, if I zoom in, okay, you can see it's separated. So I'll do it on this view actually to zoom in. So all we've got to do is got to make the tail of that longer. Now if you remember when we originally put the 16th note in, it looked like that. So that's not long enough because it's not overlapping there. So all you got to do is when that note's in there, hold the main note there, and then wherever you press while you're holding that down after it, will kind of extend the length of the note. So I'm just going to go to there. So hopefully you can see now that the tail of that note is now overlapping with that first one there. Okay, so you can hear that now. It's sliding up. Okay. See what happens if we make it a little bit longer. Okay. The slide's not quite as sexy, if that's the right description, as on the 03. There is a very slight difference. If you have a listen again. But it's not bad. That's it. There's not a massive difference. I can hear a very, very slight difference in it. But if you want all the flexibility of programming a complicated baseline pattern from the Deluge rather than doing it from within the TB-03, it's a hell of a lot easier on here. And to be honest, when it's in a full production of a full track, you're not going to notice that difference. Obviously, you've then got. I generally don't use now the internal sequencer of the 03. I do it all from the Deluge. Just purely because I find it easier to program with that visual thing, and obviously you've got unlimited numbers of patterns that you can use. Obviously on the 03 you've only got one. Obviously you can chain patterns together, but you've only got one bar each time, so it gives you that added flexibility if you wish to do it like that. So hopefully that answers the question that was asked as to how to do accents and glides on the 03 from programming it from the Deluge. So if you've got any questions or comments on this video, or got any suggestions for future videos, then feel free to stick them in the box below and I will see what I can do to try and accommodate them. If you like the videos, please like them, subscribe it, share it around, check my music out on Spotify, helps me keep the channel going and buy all this stuff. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.